Episode, once again, we speak to the amazing Luisa Ferrario. Luisa empowers service-based women entrepreneurs to activate the right mindset, emotion set, business structure, and leadership skills to accelerate to six figures with ease. She has been an entrepreneur for 25 plus years. She's a growth mindset and a business coach, an international speaker, and a published author, and has founded over 10 plus businesses globally so far. And today, Luisa is going to tell us how, or the first 3 steps that you need to take to start a service-based business. Let's find out. And remember, if you want to upgrade your money mindset, then click on the link, www.millionairefoundations.com, and watch my free training. Welcome. This is Gull, your money mindset expert. And once again, we have the amazing, we have the wonderful, we have the beautiful Luisa Ferrario. Welcome, Luisa.
Hello, Gull. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for coming back, Luisa. Luisa, everyone's heard your intro. They've heard how amazing you are, but please, in your own words, tell everybody what it is that you do.
Absolutely. So I am a business strategist and specifically a business growth strategist. And so I empower service-based entrepreneurs, mainly female, to accelerate to 6 figures and beyond, sometimes even beyond. And I help them with mindset, with business structure and business strategy and leadership skills.
Wonderful. So this is perfect because today you're talking to us about the first 3 steps to starting a service-based business. So let's get straight into this, Luisa. Luisa, what is the first step that you need to take or need to do when you're looking to start a service-based business, which is, let's define what we mean by service-based business. Can you give your definition of service-based business?
Absolutely. So a service-based business is a professional service-based business. That means, for instance, coaches, lawyers, marketing strategists, copywriters, photographers, VAs, or I don't know, this kind of professions that can be done in the virtual space, okay, online, basically. At least 80% of the business should be online. So, for instance, if you are a massage therapist, you are not really in this category unless you create maybe your own YouTube channel, for instance, and then you also have digital products that you sell and you teach people how to do X, Y, Z. So that part of the business is the service-based business that I can help people grow. And the other part, because I really like to, and this is kind of a philosophy of business and of life. I chose to help people coming from my own experience, and so in theory we are all very well experienced, but then when it comes to the practical side of things, it's much better if you have been through them in order to have a real and true juice and jam to share with others.
Wonderful. Okay, so that's great. So basically, we're talking about service-based businesses that are that are based online, and that you are ready to scale up and take to multiple 6 and beyond. Not in person, which is not an hourly thing. So it's not something that's going to limit. There's only so number of things you can do in person and on an hourly basis. So it's a different kettle of fish when it comes to service-based business too, which is great. So now let's go straight into it. What's the first step, Luisa?
So I always start with the end in mind when I think about giving some advice or sharing a practice. So here, the end in mind when you want to start a business is to build your email list. the list of people you have an email from, just to be clear, okay? Potentially, you can have a thriving business just having an email list and not having anything else, not having an offer, not knowing anyone, not whatever. Because when you have an email list, then you can start conversations with those people. And of course, there should be a common thread among them, okay? And you can find what they are interested in, and what are their actual challenges, what are their true desires, and otherwise, most people who come to me for help to grow their business, they do not have this first step, that is the definition of the niche, okay? So defining a niche is the first step, the first of the 3 easy steps that you absolutely need to go through. I have been through this step multiple times because I built many businesses, and because sometimes the same business was not, resonating with me anymore, and I wanted to serve someone else. So I had to do that work. That is a work that probably takes 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, just to understand how it works. And then you jot down the things that you need to, and then you let it, you metabolize it, you digest what you found out. And then maybe after a few days, after a week, you go back, you check, and so on and so forth. And I work a lot with alignment. So this is a word that is very present in my world. And so you can easily feel when something is aligned with you, because there are people who come to me and they tell me, I want to work, for instance, with CEOs of multiple 6-figure companies. Okay, then I start to, to dig a little bit deeper, and I found out that in the back of my mind, they just think that this kind of audience has a lot of money to invest. But it's not just that. It might be that deep down you do not like to talk to those people, or you do not have the expertise to be considered one of them or an authority. So it can become very, very frustrating if you wanted to pick a niche that it is not in alignment with who you are. And here we have another word that is very important, that is authenticity, okay? Then the second step, that is strictly...
So let's focus on the first one. So that you're saying the first step is work out your niche, work out who you want to serve and why. So that's very, very important. And make sure you're in alignment with your audience, the people, your clients, your potential clients, and you're able to provide them with a service that's of value to them. That is a first and foremost. So that's what you're saying for niching. You have to niche down, figure out your niche. And I've heard this phrase multiple times in marketing. The more you niche down, the better results you get, and the more money you're able to make. When they first come into online business, they think, I can serve everyone. Yeah. But when you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. So you have to niche down to speak to your audience. So that's first step. So now let's talk about step number 2.
Yeah, just one thing here, one little note. On the other hand, you do not have to niche down too much unless you have a very, I don't know, if you sell services for franchising, of course, that's very specific. You need to find, franchisee, a franchisor, or whatever. And but in most of the cases, you need to niche, but not too much, Otherwise, you might lose some opportunities. But this, we are going too much into details. But I just wanted to make sure that, because you said the more you niche down, the more money you make. To some extent, it's not that simple. Okay, there are some nuances that we have to keep into account. And so the moment that you have a niche, then you wanted to define your ideal client, and more specifically, your ideal client avatar. Okay, so you wanted to create a sort of an alter ego of the person, as if this person was existing in reality, in order to define a number that can also get to 100 items. I know it might sound absurd, but it's exactly like that. And this person can actually exist because it might have been one of your past clients, or it might be a friend of yours, or he might be, or they might be someone you have met and you would like to serve them. So, but it can also be someone who completely make up. Absolutely, absolutely. And so you have to start defining a lot of items. For instance, just to mention something, what kind of newspapers they read, or what are their preferences in terms of what they eat, or do they go to specific clubs, or do they do a specific sport, and also, of course, what is their challenge, for instance, what is the need that they might have, what is their desire, what is their aspiration. So a lot of things. And here, the more you get detailed, the better it is, because you are literally creating this entity that exists in your mind, and you know how much powerful something that exists in our mind, especially in the subconscious mind, can be a magnifying lens for whatever you attract. Okay, and so that's the second point.
So basically, first is niche down, so you know what sort of audience you're working at, and then step number 2 is actually creating a client avatar. And this is someone, and not just giving them a face and a name, but actually going in deeper and figuring out what's the pain points, what kind of magazines or newspapers they read, what kind of food they eat, what kind of things they like to do, their daily routine, and just really hone into that character. And this could be a past client, it could be a friend, it could be someone you know, or it could be from your imagination. But that's Absolutely. Basically became very clear on it. Okay, that's very clear. And then step number 3, what's step number 3?
Yeah, the step number 3 is kind of a wrap up of everything you have found out through, let's say, the exercise that you do for defining the niche and identifying the ideal client, and is to create your I help statement, or the one breath sentence. It is called in different ways, and those are the two most common names. And basically, this is a sentence that is made of no more than 10, 12 words, and that explains very briefly who you are talking to, who you are working with, who is your ideal client, who is your niche, what are you doing with them, what is their desire, or what is their problem. It depends. And in my case, it is I empower service-based business owners to accelerate to 6 figures, or I empower female service-based business owners to accelerate to 6 figures.
Okay, so you're in one line, you very succinctly say, I help, and you define your ideal client, so you define your ideal client, and to have it as succinct as possible so that you don't waffle and you don't lose your message in the conversation. One-liners, right?
But you do not find your ideal client, you define your niche.
Okay.
So I help, or I empower, or I work with, and then your niche, and this is the reason why you need to do the niche work. And then from what you found out in the exercise of the ideal client, you have the rest of the sentence, because one of the things that comes out from the second exercise, the ideal client one, or the ideal client avatar, is that you also learn to know how they speak. You learn to know how they address things, how they call things. Okay, so if I wanted I for instance, I did a market research, and I asked 35 service-based women entrepreneurs if they were resonating more with six figures or with 100K. And they told me six figures. So for me, it's the same. It would be the same. But if I wanted to attract that specific niche and have that specific ideal client, I have to talk about six figures. Okay. Then I also talk about 100K because some of my freebies, free resources talk about that. But this is very, very important because you are expressing your I help statement with the exact words your ideal client avatar can recognize themselves.
Yeah.
And so it's done.
Okay, wonderful. So can you give us a quick summary of the 3 steps again?
Absolutely. So the first step, so starting with the end in mind, is that you needed to build an email list. So you wanted to do those first 3 steps to start building an email list. Okay. The first step is to define a niche. The second step is to identify your ideal client and also your ideal client avatar. And the third one is to create your I help statement or your one breath sentence. That is the same thing.
Fantastic. So on that note, we're going to wrap this episode up. Luisa, tell us, how can we connect with you? Where can we find you on the internet?
So you can find me on YouTube, you can find me on LinkedIn, you can find me on Facebook, and especially you can find me in my amazing community on Facebook that is called Wealthier Women Entrepreneurs. And I am the owner and the leader of this fast-growing community. And you can also find me on my website, of course, that is luisaferrario.com.
Wonderful. So if you are listening to us on the podcast, the links that Luisa's just mentioned would be on the show notes. And if you're watching on YouTube, then down below in the description section, once again, we have all the links Luisa just mentioned. Do check her out and see how she can help you build your business. Thank you so much for being such an amazing guest, Luisa. It's been so informative. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Ciao, everyone.
And thank you for listening to me and Luisa today on Money Talkies. I will be back with another amazing guest, finding out how you and I can build a better business. Until the next time we meet, this is Gull signing off. Take care and bye for now.